Hi, everyone. I just wanted to pop in. It's Sunday. Happy Sunday. So we've been talking about a lot of things, and I just want to spend a few minutes today really giving you that aha moment and help you break it down. So I'm always talking about gut health, but people want to know how to repair gut health, right? So we're going to spend a few minutes on that today because it is this is why I say that you can't give a generic diet to the population, because people are all different. And even people that just deal with premenopause and menopause, you really have to understand the body. And this is why there's people out there with different morbidities and comorbidities, and they're on different medications, and those medications interact with other medications and have an effect and side effects in the body. So you really have to be able to sit down and assess these people so that you are giving them quality care. That's why nothing can be so generic. And there are certain things that you can do to get good results quickly. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Okay. So your gut health, okay, really comes down to what feeds your gut health. Okay. So we've discussed good bacteria and bad bacteria. So in order to support good bacteria, your good bacteria feeds on probiotics. Okay, so there's different kinds of probiotics that help the good microorganism grow, right? So prebiotics, your body really doesn't break down. Those are your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains. Those feed the probiotics, and the probiotics are those fermented foods that I always talk about. So people talk about plant-based diet. Well, Andra, what if I don't like plants? I don't eat fruits and vegetables. Well, there are other things you can do. No one's saying that you can only eat plant-based and get healthy and repair what's going on in your body, because there are some people that cringe at the thought of eating vegetables. I happen to like them, so it's good for me, but I don't know if it was in the Pounds to Go group. I had mentioned in the past that you have to eat like 2 to 3 pounds of fruit and vegetables a day to really get your daily requirements. So if you're not someone that doesn't like vegetables or fruits, you're probably not doing that. So there are supplements that you can have that are tasteless, like organic greens. So you want to make sure too, when you're buying these kind of things, that they are organic, because anything that's processed does lose some of the nutrients involved. So you want to make sure that you're getting one that's organic and it's not overly processed and there's no hundreds of added sugars in there and things that you really can't pronounce. So when you look at something like this, this is all vitamins, organic, 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 all the way down. So things like that, if you don't eat fruits and vegetables, right? So this I absolutely love. This is beetroot. And what beetroot does, when I was younger, I used to take what's called a physic. It cleans your blood. It used to come in citric, and it comes in a green jar. And I used to take that. It kind of washes out your system and cleans your blood. This is an easier way to do that because you weren't leaving your house after taking that, you were in the bathroom. So this is an easier way of doing that. The beets, I told you I'm not a big fan of beets. This does not have a really strong taste, and it's a nice way to get all the benefits of beets, like cleaning your blood and stuff like that, without actually eating them. Because I'm not eating 2 to 3 pounds of fruits a day. I know I don't do that. Some days I'm better than others, and I eat according to the seasons because your body follows the seasons. So some seasons I like, some seasons I really don't like the varieties that you should be eating. Okay, so I put hemp seed, all kinds of good stuff like that. Okay, there's collagen that your body needs. So certain ages you're deficient in these things, and this is what I mean. It depends on where you are, what decade of life, so there or also different collagens. One's for skin and hair and nails. You know, there's one for bone and muscle. There are different kinds. So you really have to do your research and see what it is that you're looking to accomplish with these things. You just don't go out and start purchasing things. And I'm certainly not suggesting you buy any of these. I'm just telling you, there's always an alternative for wherever you're at. You know, that's why when you do an assessment and you meet with people, you know, you really have to find out what's going on, what kind of medications they're on and things like that. You know, you're certainly not going to tell someone that's on blood thinners to eat green leafy vegetables because it counteracts the blood thinners. So you have to be smart and you really have to know. Now, nutritionists aren't necessarily educated in pharmacology, and you really have to be when you're working with people that are on medications and have comorbidities and things like that. Nurses have to, not all nutritionists, dietitians, I'm sure are. So you really have to look at all these things and be smart, okay? So this is something called lysine. This is antiviral. So I just incorporated this into my life a long time ago. It really helped me over COVID. So I don't have all these every day. There are certain times during the year that I do certain things in my body that I feel like I need, because we are exposed to pollutants and things like that. So liquid chlorophyll is a nice way to detox your body. And if you look at plants that show up every year at the same time, they're doing something right, because they're living and the American population is getting worse. So there are lots of benefits from chlorophyll. Look it up, you'll love it. So this is just another different kind of green superfood. This is by Nutrilite. It's a brand that Amway sells, and other places sell it too. So even if you're not involved with people that sell Amway, you can really get this a lot of other places. But I know that Nutrilite products, not only do they do a lot for the community, and they give a lot back to help finance places that don't have good food supply. They really give a lot back. So I'm a big proponent of them, and all of their stuff is organic. Even the cleaning supplies and stuff like that, I try to use that stuff in my life. I don't just talk about this, I live it, you know. And there's an old saying, if you want what I have, do as I do. So I don't think that everybody wants what I have, but everybody does. Well, I think everybody wants health, right? So anyway, this is something that's kombucha, and this specific brand is Synergy Trilogy. I love this because there are 9 billion live probiotics in here. Now, probiotics, doctors give them to you if you have C. diff or things like that, especially in the elderly, because they want to balance the bacteria in the gut. So it really does help bind you a little bit better when you have things like that. But the thing is, when they're giving you these pills, they're not live bacteria, and they're not getting to your gut live. You need live bacteria in order to have the effects from prebiotics and probiotics. So you get them from your food, you get them from things like this that say live bacteria, kefir, kimchi, all those things, miso, all those things have live bacteria. So these are things that you need to have. So you have to have a lot of different kinds of prebiotics and probiotics in order to really create that balance. It's not just having just kefir or just this, just this green leafy vegetable or just this. You really need a wide variety. That's why people tell you to eat more plants and eat a bit of variety. But not everybody likes plants. So I want to give you options. So the other thing too is I discuss how gut health is connected to inflammation, and it's connected to pain and all that stuff. So there are a lot of disease processes out there that end in itis, colitis, diverticulitis, all those things. So though itis is just a nice way of saying inflammation in your body. So if you have IBS or diverticulitis or any of those things, you have inflammation in your body. So when you're trying to repair your gut health, you do really want to have those anti-inflammatory foods, because if your gut is responding to the inflammation in your body, it's really not doing the role that it needs to. And your gut is responsible for so many other roles in your body. So it's not really working at its capacity. So we also spoke about leaky gut. And leaky gut is the link between all disease processes. I mean diabetes, I mean autoimmune, I mean cardiovascular disease, dementia, things that are associated to emotional health. So when I say that people should repair their gut, it's because it's really going to help you live a better quality of life. Not everybody wants to lose weight. Some people just want to have more energy and thrive and feel more vital. Some people have used it to reverse the disease process. I'm on somebody's podcast on Tuesday, and he has type 2 diabetes, and he eats more plants, and he's working on gut health because he believes that he can reverse his diabetes. And you absolutely can. I told you he's reverse engineering. Many people have done. So then you hear stories about people that have cancer and they change their diet and they live longer. So or they beat it. So I do have a few friends. I am a cancer survivor. I do have these autoimmune diseases, but it's not so black and white. There are some people who have always eaten well and still wind up with cancer. So a lot of that might be genetics. Maybe they're eating fruits and vegetables that are not cleansed properly. There's a lot of things that really could play a role in why they get it. Good things, I mean, bad things happen to good people, unfortunately. But diet alone is not the answer. So, when I was in nursing, it was very big. They spoke about neutropenic precautions and avoiding fruits and vegetables and things like that when you're going through chemo or you're sick and you're on radiation, and the concept then. And what neutropenic precautions was when your white blood cells were at a certain stage, and there comes a time in your cancer treatment that your white blood cells are either really down or really up, and they make medications for that to improve it, like Neupogen, and there's Epigen for your red blood cells if you're severely anemic or you have a bleed somewhere. So sometimes doctors will tell people that are under cancer treatment to stay away from antioxidants and vitamin C and stuff like that. And it really depends on the doctor and the stage they're in and what their form of treatment is. That's not true for everybody. So that's why I'm saying you can't really give somebody a blank thing and say, okay, you have to do A, B, and C. So you really want to make sure that you're speaking to a specialist that really does know that stuff to get better advice and better treatment. So there are different kinds of cancers too. There's blood cancers and bone cancers, and people can go and have bone marrow biopsies and have people will donate. I drew a blank there. So sometimes it happens. I got so much spinning around in that head all the time. Sometimes it's hard to pluck what I need. So there are different treatments that people can do. So some people say, I changed my diet and it changed my life, or it stopped the cancer. So I don't know. I would never say that was the reason, and I'm a big proponent of diet. It might be that it made them stronger, and the diets that they chose helped create an environment that wasn't as sick. Well, like they didn't have diet does definitely help with other disease processes. So if you have disease processes going on like leaky gut and things like that, and then you get sick with cancer, that's a lot for the body to contend with, if that makes sense. So them changing their diet and repairing the gut and the other disease processes may make them stronger to live through, to fight better, if that makes sense, to be stronger in their body to really get through things like that. So I don't believe that diet alone cures all cancers. That's all I want to say. So, and it is different for everybody. I was speaking to someone here that was talking about how honey saved his life. He did go through the actual treatments and the surgery, and then he incorporated the honey, because after all those treatments, he was left in a state where he just did not feel well. So the honey then really became instrumental in life after cancer for him. So, and I can't even tell you enough about the benefits of Manuka honey. But so I want to like be able to give you actionable steps that can really help you. Not, I don't want to just come up here and say, well, this is why, and this is why, but these are actionable steps I give you. So I talk about mindful eating, and is it the same as intentional eating? Well, I don't know. It depends on how you look at it. When you sit there mindfully and enjoy your food, that's a little different than intentionally eating things that provide the health. So there are certain things that I had to target in my body, like the inflammation, because of the autoimmune diseases. So I mean, everybody knows I have 3 autoimmune diseases. They've been in remission a long time, and you don't really get rid of them. And what I mean by remission is I've been symptom free for almost 12 years now. So that's pretty big. And if I just went to a doctor and took a pill for the Hashimoto's, or I mean, Raynaud's, there's really not much you can do but really improve your circulation, improve your blood, and the things that, you know, sometimes Raynaud's is caused by smoking, sometimes it's caused by trauma. So maybe that's why one finger still hurts. Maybe that's trauma related. When it gets cold, that one gets really cold. But my feet and the rest of my fingers don't really have that effect anymore. So these things can alter your life. They can change how you show up, you know, and then the picos, you know, so that's all diet. So there are some things that diet can absolutely change the way you live your life, and that's most disease processes. Cancer, my thoughts are still out there on that. I don't know that just diet alone. I'm sure it can absolutely improve it. And it depends on the kind of cancer. Like if it's something like a colon cancer, then yes, that's directly connected to your digestive health. But some people do have a genetic predisposition for it. So you have to be careful too. But when speaking with cancer and nutrition, like there are some people that have BRCA2 gene, right? And they get breast cancer. So they're even treating them nutritionally. There are certain things that they can't have that other people can. Like estriol is in soy, you know, soy breaks down into estriol in your body, and it's the most natural type of estrogen in foods, and it's in soy. But people that have BRCA2 have to stay away from that because they can't have too much estrogen. So when their estrogen slows down, they actually benefit. So so you have to really know who you're talking to and what's going on. So I always try to give you tips and quick wins, but for me, I would tell everybody that you really have to improve your gut health. Is there one way to do it? Absolutely not. Do you have to just eat plants? Could you never have meat again? No, I chose plants because I like vegetables. And as I got older, I just really did not have the taste for meat the way I used to. I eat a lot more fish. I like fish more. But even lately, I really haven't been eating that much fish, when it's seasonal. Yeah. But there are everyone knows I'm doing the belly fat challenge, right? So one week one of the women that were in that group was looking for some things that I put content and stuff to really, because I tell them exactly what they're going to eat, for this challenge. So, and like how to break it down and adjust it to their lifestyle. They get a really big list of foods that they can choose from, and then how to apply it to their life. So, she was looking for something, and she was in the wrong group. And she said, I think I was in the Pounds to Go group. And she said, wow, you've really given so much content, and so much goodies and PDFs and all that stuff. And I do give you guys a lot of stuff, and I'm not just throwing things out there. Those are just all really good actionable steps for wherever you're at in your life. And I put many different recipes in there and things that you have to do to reduce inflammation, the best ways to lose weight. I went over the metabolic program with you about, you don't, if you want to lose weight, you don't restrict your food and then rush to the gym. We discussed what that does to your thyroid capabilities. So, and the way to really go about that, and how to eat mindfully and things like that. So any of these tips individually are going to help you. But if you're really listening and you're putting them together, you really can develop your own lifestyle blueprint like I did. So you don't have to be a health professional or a coach or a nutritionist or a nurse or any kind of health professional to really live a quality life and learn how to eat better for your body. So some people deal with just premenopause and menopause, and they understand. But even that, it's different for everybody too, because not everybody starts losing estrogen at the same age. Like, for instance, I was a smoker, so I went through menopause earlier. I went through in my 40s rather than my 50s. So you really do have to know your patient and where they're at, and get those signs and symptoms and things like that. So there are times when you do have to work with someone when you are not getting those results and you've been at this a long time. Sometimes it just takes another eye to see what you're doing. And sometimes it's not what you're eating, it's eating at all. Sometimes it is a mindset where you just, because you've tried other things that weren't necessarily good programs, you somehow internalize it that you are not capable of it. And that's not true. You can really do anything you set your mind to, but you have to do it intentionally. I eat intentionally. You have to make it a priority for you. So coming up, I love giving. So I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do something, I do challenges. I set up that group. I'm also thinking about getting together with the ladies that we did the group with, because we're all out there helping women, trying to empower women. So the women in this group would benefit from that. So we've been talking about doing like a weekend away, and really, and those are virtual, but you get to hang out in your pajamas and sip hot cocoa and get actionable steps that you could use in your life. People that are in yoga, people that are into intuitive, other people are business and they can tell you. So I bring people here in business to speak to you, because I think that any person needs to have multiple streams of income, unless you started putting away money for retirement when you were like 17 or 18 at your first job. You have to look at the markets today and how everything's increasing, but your payroll or your social security or your retirement, they're trying to take more away. So the more level of streams of income you have, the better it is for you. But even not from an income basis, I certainly don't show up every day for income. I mean, I do have a job, a well-paying job. So there are hobbies and things that you're interested in. One of the ladies that are in the authors group, she makes the most adorable headbands and bracelets and these matching things and stuff like that. So she's not doing that for the money because she's practically giving them away. It's something that she does. It's another part of her brand, or something that she does to, that a hobby or things like that. So I bring people into, like, the woman that spoke on Pinterest, but there's Etsy, and people like knit sweaters or hats and sell them and stuff like that. So you might be interested in something like that too, having something of yourself for yourself. So I encourage you not to think small, to always think big and do things in a big way for yourself. So I hope I didn't rattle too much, but I just really want you to know that these things are all doable. So your actionable step this week is to either A, start eating more plant-based foods, or B, circumvent it by finding other ways to get that in. Even if you're eating 1 or 2 more vegetables a day, but you do have to reduce the inflammation in the gut. So you do want to work more anti-inflammatory in. So when your gut health is in shape, it's going to help with all the other disease processes. It doesn't bounce back right away. Some people, if you don't have other comorbidities, I don't want to say that it doesn't, because in some cases it does. My gut was in the worst shape when I started this. I had been eating processed foods since I was a baby. My mother was out working for us, every day. So we were left to our own devices, and we ate what we wanted to, deviled dogs and hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff like that. So I had been eating poorly for a very long time. When our mother was home, of course, she cooked, and my sister was a great cook, but most of my diet was bad stuff. So it took me longer to correct that. And some people that do eat intentionally and don't have a lot of comorbidities, I was working with a bunch of comorbidities. So it took me a little while, but some people who don't will feel effects of eating anti-inflammatories and putting in more prebiotics and probiotics in your diet, however you decide to get them in. Maybe you love whole grains, but you do need to feed the gut. You do. You got to feed it. There's no way around it. I am a problem solver by nature. So I like to, and I get that from my mother, God rest her soul. She was the kind of person that really did everything for herself. She was very independent. If the house needed to be painted, she strapped on that cap and went and painted the house. If the toilet broke, whatever broke, she fixed. And that's who she was. So and she encouraged us to do the same. So my thinking was a little warped. So I got to admit, I really thought more out of the box, even from the time I was very little. And I'm going to tell you a true story, and I don't recommend you do this in your life, but when we were young, my sisters and I had to do the laundry. We all had chores. We had to help mom. So most kids do today. And we lived in, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. So we lived in an apartment building in Yonkers at the time. And the laundry room was always full. Would drive me crazy. So I decided that I was going to put out of order signs on the machines that I wanted to use. I had my favorites in the laundry room, and pull the plugs, because most people, if they got hip to the sign, the plug would be out, so I was small enough to crawl behind the machine and just unplug the plug, right? So I remember my sister and I going down, and she's like, damn, this is out of order, and this is full, and that's full. I was like, no, it's not. Shh. And she to this day, she still makes fun of me for that, where she's so like, you always kind of thought these out of the box weird things. But I don't recommend that you do things like that. My time was very valuable. I didn't want to, I'm sure theirs was too. I don't mean to my time was more valuable than theirs. But as a kid, I was only thinking about that moment, and I wanted to be outside playing, not inside doing laundry. But I wouldn't recommend anybody do that today, you know. But I do recommend that people think outside the box and find what works for you. Not everything that works for one works for everybody, you know, and there are a lot of people that can really do this themselves. And there are some people that just really don't know how to, or they can't keep the momentum because they either don't have a good support system, or they've done this before and they just haven't figured it out, and they internalize it, like I say. But then you guys got to reach out. You got to say, hey, I need help. I'm over here, you know, because I'm not going to sit here and point fingers. But what I'm going to do, what I started to say, because I've been in here a little while now, and I do have things to do today. It's laundry day today. So, you know, what I'm going to do, like in that challenge group, like for either Thanksgiving or Christmas, is I'm going to do like a little giveaway, but I have to know who wants to be eligible. So you'll have to message me for that, where I will take between 3 and 5 people who are either A, trying to reduce that inflammation, or B, lose their first 20 pounds. And I am going to walk you through it and help you do it. Okay, so and that's just my gift to you, because I think that everybody deserves to be healthy. And if you don't have health, you really don't have much else. And I mean that, you know, health is wealth. So take care of yourself, live intentionally, live today, and take care. Have a great day, guys.